Like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, full of fraud and corruption. We're going to do a recap and update. Damn, that's what I should have put in the thing. So let's get to the new news. Because I'm just going to get started. So, charges filed against a man accused of shooting at law enforcement. He faces 21 felony charges. 31-year-old Tyler O'Brien. So he's not an illegal migrant. Authorities blocked off streets and evacuated nearby buildings. O'Brien is accused of firing approximately 15 to 20 rounds through windows, doors, and walls in the direction of law enforcement officers and civilians. The complaint alleges police negotiators were able to make phone contact with O'Brien. He acknowledged the presence of police and made multiple threats to shoot officers. O'Brien eventually surrendered. No one was physically injured. But he might as well just say bye bye. Then they had another shooting. Man arrested hours after opening fire on Hennepin County deputies in South Minneapolis. Oh no, that's the same story. Never mind. Now this what got me. ICE agent arrested over shooting a Venezuelan man in Minnesota. Federal law trumps local and state law. I'm just trying to figure out how that's gonna pan out. A U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agent wanted for shooting a Venezuelan man during sweeping immigration crackdown in Minnesota was arrested in Texas. Castro is the second federal agent to be charged over their conduct during the Minnesota crackdown, which is known as Operation Metro Surge. He is one of two agents that ICE Director Todd Lyons said lied about circumstances surrounding the non-fatal shooting of Julio Celis. Video evidence of the incident released last month has cast further doubt on ICE agent history. Hey, Kate. Hey, CCC. The arrest at the local prosecutors marked a rare instance of accountability for ICE, an agency whose officers became notorious last year for high profile shootings, concealing their identities with masks, severely injuring protesters with less lethal munitions. Minnesota said the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension located Castro, 52, in Texas, and oh shit, and work with agents from the Inspector General's Office of Department of Homeland Security and take Texas Rangers to arrest him. Today, the arrest is a critical step forward in our prosecution of Mr. Castro. According to prosecutors, Castro fired through a home's front door and shot Sosa in the thigh after Castro and another officer chased a different man, Alfredo Algeron, to the Minneapolis apartment duplex where he and Celsus live. Sosa and Algeron were legally residing in the U.S. Y'all need to go to hell home. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Federal authorities accused Sosa of repeatedly striking an ICE agent in the face with a broom handle and said that a third unidentified also beat the officer with a snow shovel. Sosa Celsus countered that he never struck the officer, though his friend Algera may have during a brief scuffle. Surveillance video released by the city of Minneapolis clearly contradicted the ICE officer's stories. Neither Sosa or Algernon hit the officer with broomsticks or shovels. There was no third man. The altercation lasted 12 seconds rather than 3 minutes. Prosecutors took the unusual step of moving to dismiss their own case in February after reviewing the footage. In a statement, the charges were announced. ICE said the U.S. Attorney's Office was investigating statements made by officers who could face disciplinary action, including being fired or prosecuted. ICE called the Hennepin County Attorney's action unlawful and nothing more than a political stunt. But federal law trumps state and local law. But in this case, they lied. Oh, one more thing I could say: love each other. Because this world is for the birds now. This world going to hell in a handbasket. All right, now I'm going to go to the recap part. Minnesota fraud scandal. I love Anna Luna. She from Florida. And so she said that during that sanctuary hearing meeting, she told Tim Walz that she was referring him to the DOJ for prosecution. Then after that shooting with what was that man named Alex Perez or not Renee Good, but Representative Elon Omar. I can't wait till they deport her ass. Said on social media that there was no conceivable way to view the video that did not show the agent clearly. Oh, this is about murder Renee Good. Okay, that's what she said. She died less than a mile from where George Floyd was murdered by Minneapolis police. Yeah, well, I have my own theories on that, so I'm not gonna speak. Hey, therapy, what's going on? This is my third video. How you doing? Tom Homan takes aim at Kristi Noem as he pulls 700 agents out of Minneapolis. Tom Homan has taken a swipe at Kristi Noem this before she lost her job. As he announced that Trump is pulling 700 federal agents, Homan conceded that Noem's immigration crackdown had not been a perfect operation at a news conference in Minneapolis. Oh yeah, he was pissed because he had to come in there. Kyle Kyle Wagner was arrested for making online threats to ICE, including targeting their homes. These people is nuts. They nuts. Oh shit. Wait a minute, that ain't right. Oh, let me go back. Okay, here we go. Kyle was arrested on Tuesday for federal cyber stalking and threatening ICE agents. Man, them Haitians so mad right now, and the Syrians so mad right now. Go back home and fix your own shit. I don't have no sympathy. So Wagner is accused of using social media to call for violence against ICE officers during protests in Minnesota and later doxing an ICE aide by posting his personal information and his address. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I'm deleting this stuff on my. Right, that's what I'm saying. It's time to go. U.S. Justice Department subpoenas Minnesota Democrats accused of impeding ICE. That was Waltz, Keith Ellison, and and then Mayor Fry was issued subpoenas. Then Trump pulled the federal funding from them. And then you got these people protesting. If you don't like America, get the fuck out. All these protesters, and if you want to be communist, go to Russia, go to Cuba, hell, go to Venezuela that just had them earthquakes. Go to a communist country and live there. Okay, I'm deleting this stuff. So, like I said, Trump stopped the funding. The radical left has used fraudulent government programs for a long time to import and retain vast numbers of illegal immigrants to win elections and turn America into a single party state, destroying any real democracy. That's a fact. Musk pointed out that Ilhan Omar in Minnesota as an example of this alleged manipulation, attributing her success to the Somali voting bloc in a state that historically had no Somali population. That's a fact. Como warns walls are caving in on Tim Walz as Minnesota fraud pro widens. It is. He need to go to prison. The fraud has the fraud is about $250 billion in Minnesota by itself. A document on Minnesota Department of Human Services shows a website that one of them daycares was supposed to have 99 children. Wasn't nobody there. You know, Nick Shirley blew the lid off the fraud in Minnesota and California, which called that daycare center fraud in Minnesota cost 1.9 billion by itself. Right, therapy. Come on, tell the truth. And that was that and couldn't even spell. It was Quality Learning Center. They had the end off of learning. Then Waltz admitted, I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. I would know, and it's not just Somalians. No, it's your ass too, because you got some of that money too. Like you didn't partake in that money. Keith Ellison too. And I used to ski with Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, because he's from Detroit. I used to ski with his brother, Tony Ellison. I don't know him, but I knew his brother because they from Detroit. Now, Minnesota businesswoman used Mexican families' payments to fund BMW and plastic surgery. So the legal Mexican migrants, Keith Ellison filed a lawsuit against a Bloomington business that proposed to help clients obtain tourist visas for relatives in Mexico. The business charges clients thousands of dollars for U.S. tourist visas that will only cost $180. The company is owned by Christian Paulides of Woodbury. So now, oh, but now they charging the fraud. Then we have a before Pam Bondi was removed, Minnesota man offers $45,000 for Pam Bondi's death. Another illegal migrant. Tyler Avanos on charge that he made a violent threat against Pam Bondi, saying he'll pay another illegal. Where he get $45,000 from? Where he get $45,000 to threaten Pam Bondi? I'm just saying, where they getting all this money from? Then Pam Bondi sued New York, California, Minnesota for refusing to hand over sensitive migrant information. Oh, she sued my state too, Michigan. So then remember Trump was gonna send in the National Guard to Minnesota, but Tim Walz went ahead and sent in the National Guard. This is the recap part. We're not going in, we're just doing a quick recap. And I get to delete all this stuff. Oh, remember that man that killed the Minnesota rep, Vance Bolter, who said that he was paid by Tim Walz to murder what you say? You right there, but you right about that. Walz Bolter wife speaks out for the first time since June 14th killing. Well, he's the one that said that Tim Walz paid him to assassinate that state representative, Melissa. What was her name? Melissa somebody. And then he shot her neighbors too. And you know what? And we ain't heard nothing else come out about that. Oh, here it is. Here you go. Alleged letter from the murder. Vance Bolter accuses Governor Tim Walz ordering assassination of U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. According to multiple reports, Bolter alleged sent a letter to the FBI prior to the June 14th attack that left Speaker Amita Hartman and her husband dead. And we ain't seen Tim Walz get charged with that because he sure said his name. I'm deleting this stuff on my phone. But he looked nuts. Then this Democratic state rep admits she's in the country illegally. Representative Caholie Vaughn admitted she is U.S. illegally in a shocking confession that rocked the nation as riots unfolded in Los Angeles. State law requires candidates for Minnesota legislature to be a qualified voter in the state, which includes being a U.S. citizen for at least 3 months. She was born in Laos and came to the U.S. with her family as a refugee. And how is she even holding office? This is insane. This is literally insane. This is her right here. How is she? She's not even a U.S. citizen. How is she hold public office? Just like in Miami, they voted that Haitian as a mayor, and he's illegal. You can't make this stuff up. So then, Attorney General Keith Ellison was talking about suing Trump that they're going to hold him accountable. But you let all them illegals come in and defraud the taxpayers out of billions of dollars. You make that make sense. Now, the wife of Minnesota State Senator Justin Ingle has filed for divorce after his arrest in an underage sexting. This was White files for divorce from Minnesota Senator Justin Ear after bust and shocking underage thing. So y'all got everything going on in Minnesota. Every vile thing is going on in Minnesota. He had to resign from his position. Let me delete this. I'm deleting all this stuff. Lord have mercy. The state AG sued Trump administration over transgender care ban. You can't make this up. Mm-mm. You can't. Okay, let's get into the videos. So we got. Oh, I need to delete this. Okay, let me delete that. Let me get rid of this. Oh my God. What's going on? Delete that.
Just wait until you see part two, where I literally am just walking around to these other companies, and the people are stopping at intersections, getting out at red lights and coming after me. And so the hostility, whenever I simply give each person an opportunity just to answer the question, now, why is it so necessary for a building like this to receive $2 million? Or where are the children? No one
This is Nick Shirley.
Elon Musk said it best when he said, the people that complain the loudest are the fraudsters. And I have learned and lived that over these past few weeks. And so part two is coming up soon. Well, that's what I wanted to ask about. So you're in a car. I don't know what you're headed to do. Part two, I think there was I saw a post that was going to come out today. But I've been let it won't come out today. But your partner, David, he described it as he said the next investigation, the next video, the reaction to that, he described as World War III. He said that he's looked into, and you guys are looking into, not just the child care stuff, but non-emergency medical transport. This is what he told Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, where like there's 1,300 non-emergency medical transport companies in Minnesota. These are people, I guess, that transport people to hospital in non-emergency situations, but you got to have a certain number of vehicles and satisfy all these government requirements. And 900 of the 1,000 are Somali. What can you tell us about part two? Yeah, so part two, we look into the non-emergency medical transportation, the daycares as well, and you'll see that a lot of these businesses don't actually exist. And you'll see how hostile.
Unbelievable.
And those the locations of where these places are located. And you'll see just how this fraud is actually upheld because of the system that they have in place. It's not any coincidence that they've used welfare to fraud people, fraud the government. There's a whole entire system around these daycares, around the autism centers, and around the home health care centers. And the transportation companies are kind of what hold all altogether. So, and I don't want to say too much, but yeah, and you'll see a lot of that be exposed in part 2.
Unbelievable.
I've heard your part.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz finally succumbs to the gravity of his state's massive welfare scandal and says he will not run for a third term. Meanwhile, the Trump administration ramps up on the state, declaring it is unleashing a relentless assault to dismantle the massive fraud empires of Minnesota. What's all this mean for the state, for federal welfare programs, and for our upcoming elections?
From the opinion pages of the Wall Street Journal, this is All Things with Kim Strassel.
Welcome to All Things with Kim Strassel, and for the answers to those questions, we are fortunate to have with us this week a Minnesota native and expert, former Minnesota governor and presidential candidate Tim Pawlenty. Governor, first of all, Happy New Year, and wow, it's a wild time in the North Star State right now. How is everyone bearing up there?
Well, Happy New Year to you, Kim, and to all of your listeners. And in our state, people are mad. I mean, there's a lot of fraud. People work hard in Minnesota. They pay a lot of taxes. And when it gets stolen,
They're mad.
They're understandably very frustrated and very mad.
Yeah,
Of course they
just a
should
little
be.
surprise for anyone, although it might be hard to believe, who hasn't heard about this. Attention is on a significant number of individuals who are found to have defrauded numerous welfare programs in Minnesota. The first indictments actually came out when Biden was still president, but to date, DOJ has charged 98 individuals, 85 of whom are of Somali descent, 64 of whom have already been convicted. The schemes range from setting up sham businesses to falsely claim to have provided meals to children, paying kickbacks to parents to enroll kids without autism in autism treatment, billing Medicaid for phony housing services. Prosecutions have shown that these scammers have used their proceeds on luxury cars and vacations. It's a really ugly story, Governor. And so before we dive in, especially because I think there's so many angles to this, so many ways you can look at this, and people are looking at it in different ways. I wanted to just ask you, near 30,000 foot appraisal, like what actually is the story here? What went wrong? What should we be pointing a finger at? What should we be pointing a finger at?
Well, trying my best just to set aside the spin and the political BS, Kim, here's what I know to be pretty good facts. The legislative auditor, which is a nonpartisan, well-respected auditing organization within Minnesota for years, has been sending signals and warnings about the lack of financial controls in Minnesota and the potential for fraud. And there's a culture inside of Minnesota state government that is pretty rotten when it comes to taking these kinds of allegations or concerns seriously. And to give you just two quick examples, one is in 2018, when there was an earlier version of a fraud investigation, just like the ones you're hearing about now, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension had investigators looking into it for criminal charges. And they were frustrated, and they discontinued or didn't bring charges in one or more cases because the investigators said these state bureaucrats wouldn't cooperate with them and give them data and information they needed.
Facts. They covered up the fraud.
Yes.
And then wanted to fire the whistleblowers. Why? Because they was getting some of that money. That's why. Then we had the shooting of Renee Good and Alex Prince. I don't know which video this is.
I am not hearing enough is that this might have been planned, or this might have been part of the plan. Tim Walz, someone who has been very vocal, and is somebody who has been encouraging people to rise up, to rally, let's get ready for this. But you know what? He's using this as a distraction quite clearly. Let's not forget the fraud that he's been charged with. Let's not forget the investigation that is currently undergoing. Let's not forget the potential murder. Please let us not forget Melissa Portman, the only Democrat who had voted against a health care bill for illegals. She absolutely killed the bill. So her and her husband were murdered, and the killer who was appointed by Tim Walz had come out and said that Tim Walz had ordered the murder.
Facts.
Confession letter. And of course, this story is not being covered by mainstream media. Gee, I wonder why. And I've heard a lot of other Democratic leaders being very vocal about this, when in reality we have seen a ton of fraud from them. Are these Democratic leaders coming together to create more noise, to distract from their flaws, to distract what they have done illegally? We saw how they took advantage of the death of George Floyd. We saw stinking Jacob Frey crying. In reality, they didn't even do anything. And on top of that, were you aware of this? A House Oversight Committee hearing revealed claims of up to $9 billion lost to fraud in Minnesota federal programs for child nutrition, autism services, housing, and Medicaid, with nearly 100 federal charges already filed. We are going to start seeing it not just in Minnesota, but we're going to start seeing it in almost every single state. We are going to delve deeper into this investigation. We are going to truly see where everything is going to. So I'm saying this to say, American people, do not take your eyes off of what is truly going on. We cannot be going back and forth when there is a much bigger issue at hand. AOC, Tim Walz, these people will not protest with you. These people will not get out on the field and be with you. Guess where they'll be? They'll be sitting there watching on their television screens, watching everybody else go crazy, and never to see jail, because the American people never learn to stand up and fight rather than be distracted by what was clearly a distraction. All of the American people.
That part.
To most of you, it might seem boring. You may not even be interested.
That part. Very well said, young lady. Very well said.
That there has been massive welfare fraud in Minnesota. It's staggering. It's stunning. It's astounding. It may rise to the level of $9 billion. Now, it's an uncomfortable truth that at this juncture, most of that fraud appears to be centered in the community of Minneapolis among people of Somali ancestry.
Right, and they need to be deported. They need to get the fuck out. They need to get the fuck out.
Well, hey guys, I want you guys to watch this video with me dealing with the Somalian. I don't know why, for some reason, they thought that Donald Trump was just gonna welcome them in with open arms. Check this video out.
We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you're leftists. Because the left leftists join the right, vote for Trump, 2024, vote for George Ray, 2024, vote for Matthew and December, 2024, vote for Todd June, HCD3, 2024, vote for Tom Emma, our liar, out of here, and from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said Israel is in paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain,
Right.
they do nothing but. We don't want them in our country.
That's right.
Go back to where they came from.
That's right. Go back to where the fuck you came from.
The Somalis now, after
As a race card, don't use black when it's beneficial. Keep that same energy. You not black, you Somalians. You not black, you Nigerians. Keep that same energy, because when it's time to benefit off these government programs like housing, all that stuff, they lock other people out. They don't care about nobody else but their own people. So why you yelling allyship now?
In case you did not know, Somalis are notorious for looting, stealing, piracy, very well known for. They marry children, they don't have women's rights, women can't vote. And when you deport a bunch of them into the middle of Minnesota, in our country, they're going to do the same thing. They are going to steal. They are going to. It's so crazy that we've done this. They're not going to assimilate.
That part.
To find a stronghold of a shared community of values that they have, Somali values in a Western culture, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to cut off female genitalia, because 99% of Somali women have done that, or I guess had that done to them. They are going to steal. Again, what do you think of when you think of Somalia? Piracy. which is exactly what we are seeing, because in case you did not know, there is currently a massive investigation into this Medicaid fraud scheme amongst the Somali community in our country. They're making fraudulent claims and they are stealing from the taxpayers. They're stealing from our government. And if that wasn't bad enough, it has been reported that we are the largest funder of Al Shabaab, their terror group back in Somalia. Yeah, they've been defrauding the U.S. government and then sending it to our enemy. And we are at work paying for it. Calling this out, it's not racist, it's not xenophobic, it's not being anti-Somali, it's saying, hey, I actually think Western culture, the freedoms that we have, are superior. I would much rather live in a country where I have a voice, where I can vote, where my genitals aren't removed, where I can wear what I want, practice what religion I want. I think that's a superior way of life. And the people in Somalia do not think that's a superior way of life. They're coming here to change it and expecting anything else from a group of people that have not changed in their home country. And then
Facts.
Another African country in Trump's line of fire is Somalia. Prime targets are the Somalis living in America. Trump has now called for mass arrests of Somalis living in Minnesota over alleged cash transfers. He called them criminals, and to back his claims, he shared a news report. The report alleges that Somalis were transferring cash via the Minneapolis airport at an abnormal rate.
They were.
The report quoted U.S. officials saying that the cash was moved overseas by Somali couriers and that it was 10 to 100 times larger than the total foreign exodus of money at other larger American airports in the last 2 years. So far, these claims have not been independently verified.
Yes, they have.
The report also quoted
See, there go the bullshit. Yes, it has been verified. Yes, it has. Airport staff have came forward and confirmed that these stories were true. There they go with that bullshit. Damn, what happened to the... Oh, wait a minute.
can we talk? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences? Okay? Okay? These all lives matter. Fuck y'all uber quiet. Y'all uber quiet. We were up in the streets talking about our lives matter. Y'all were like, oh no, but what about? Hi guys, it's Bella React here. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video to the killing of No Ice murdered Renee Good just blocks away from where George Floyd was murdered in 2020 by police officer Derek Chauvin. There's not going to be riots in the streets. There's not going to be mass protests the same way. And the reason is when we saw that video of George Floyd being killed, we were sick of it. We were tired of being killed. We're done. Stop killing us. Her people aren't done with this. Her people don't care that much. I'm not saying, oh, no white people care. I am saying that not enough of them are tired. You have to hit that breaking point. Black people hit that breaking point with George Floyd. They're not there yet. And there's not going to be a mass protest, unfortunately. I just saw a post from Renee Nicole Good's former teacher that said that she was a working mom who worked her way out of circumstances. They think they're special. They think they're different. When I look at Renee, even though she doesn't look like me, I still understand that can happen to me. When they look at Renee, even though she looks like them, they think it couldn't happen to them. And this is why they were so upset about Charlie Kirk. They saw themselves in Charlie Kirk. They don't see themselves in a working class mother who's trying to protect her neighbors. They see themselves in a bigot who's spreading hate, but is a Christian, so it's okay. That's who they saw themselves in. That's who they see themselves in. Because we're not about to fight another battle for them, because we've been screaming about this. We've been yelling about our neighbors, about the people who do look like us, about the non-citizens who this is happening to too. We're not going to do it for them. They would have to do it, and we're not going to do it. Not because we don't care, because I care. It's because we're tired. Every time we come try to save them, they don't save themselves. Every time we try to do it, we send Kamala out there and look what they did. Can we talk? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences? Okay? Okay? These all lives matter, folk. Y'all uber quiet. Y'all uber quiet. about our lives matter, y'all were like, oh no, but what about Renee Good, rest her soul, was a stay-at-home mom. She was an activist, blonde hair, blue eyes, America's standard of beauty, according to them.
Right.
If they don't care about her life,
Facts.
what do you think that means about the rest of us? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Do you get it now? Do you get it now? These people are literally trying to explain away what we have all seen with our own two eyes. To somebody like for once, it ain't one of us, right? But to one of my mutuals, this looked like a test run. This looked like they're just trying to see what they can get away with. Like, you need to keep talking about this. You need to keep raising the alarm. But Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, we are still resting. We are still doing our part in our community.
That's right.
Trying to tell left and right.
That's right.
We told them about Project 2025. We told them about the Biden-Harris accomplishments.
Well, I wasn't gonna vote for that dumb bitch.
Under the Biden-Harris administration is either getting stripped away or is getting sane-washed into this administration's project that they want to highlight as theirs or pass off as their own. You understand me? You understand? And going around about Renee Good, the victim that was lost to his agents. I'm trying to be nice. They might be watching me. But I've been seeing this discussion about, oh, if a white lady's life been taken, and how are we safe? Let's ask this question, and I want y'all to deeply think about this. Why does it take a white woman life being taken by the feds, by power, for y'all to feel like y'all aren't safe when the big picture always told you you're not safe? Anyway, let me get some examples in historical context. Vala Luzo, let's start off. A lot of people don't know about Vala Luzo. Staph infection, biting on.
Oh, I'm so glad we done with. Oh shit! Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh shoot!
Arrests transpire from the invasion of that church, and that is a good thing. Arrests transpire from the invasion of that.
Oh, you can't really hear it. Let me just go ahead and delete that because you can't hear it.
So pretty much everybody's seen this political figure. I mean, obviously, it's been a tough time for us. The thing about it is the radical was deeper about this than, just the obvious questions of,
You can't really hear that either, can you? Damn, let me. This happened at Elon Omar's.
Obviously, it's been a tough time for the last 24 hours. But the thing about it is the radical was deeper on this than, just the obvious questions of, a couple things right up that, oh, a woman's going after a man who's trying to attack her, like she's going to do something. Now, some of you have seen this as well, but if you haven't, let's roll back just before Ilhan Omar actually takes the stage. And I don't also notice when Omar's staff is here. I mean, ignoring the fact that the man is sitting literally front row, first seat, it's the fact that the cameraman not only pans to him squarely in the middle of the image, but then continues to zoom in on his face. But again, the rabbit hole was deeper. A lot of people have been seeing this going everywhere in regards to the man being the father of pretty leftist children. And there's even unverified images of him supposedly at BLM rallies and whatnot. But here's a couple of images you probably haven't seen because they're just not coming out. And I know people will be like, oh, it's AI, it's fake, it's generated. Well, the thing about that is we actually have detection software to use, and I ran it through several of them.
I knew that shit was staged. I knew that was staged with her. Because she kept going. not. I'm just don't know why this is so. Oh, you know what? Let me just close up everything. I might just end this. Oh, I might just end this video because these videos is not working. I don't know. My stuff is not paying. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like